start filtering in. I know, but I'm not going to go all the way out there.
Julie was.
Round them up, Julie. I know, you're trying. You're trying. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Hope United Church of Christ in Aurora, where no matter who you are or where you are along life's journey, you are welcome, loved, and safe here.
That's new.
Welcome to those joining us online. A special welcome to our visitors. In a quick survey, I don't
No, like change the slide.
I'm saying if he's saying those are the cards.
Fill out your info in our registration books and chat with Pastor Wally after worship. Also, there are blue cards in there where you can offer up prayers that will be read aloud later. At this time, please check in using your favorite social media. Let your friends and family know that you are here and Hope UCC. Then please silence yourself. A little over here so I can see the announcements. Our regular one, please don't take photos of minors. And today we will not be going out to lunch, but on a regular basis we often go and catch us out in the narthex and we'll decide where to go to lunch. Today we're going to have lunch together after service. The squares all squared away?
They're all squared away.
All squared away. Awesome. Thank you, Shannon, for that. Sure.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shannon. My pronouns are he, him, his. And I just wanted to let you know, I mean, you've been hearing about when we're showing the documentary 1946. I have flyers here. Please take one. And this is a great opportunity to invite people into this event. This documentary is excellent. If you're on the fence about whether you should come or not, I'm going to say you should come. It really tells us more about the history, about how this word actually became part of the Bible, which really, of course, ramped up the anti-gay movement from there. So please join us. It'll be great. It's at 7 o'clock. 6:30. I'm sorry, 6:30. Thank you, Julia. And hope to see you here. Flyers will be at the back. And if you have any questions, please ask myself or one of the members of the community.
I'm coming out for this one too. Hi, I'm Julie. I'm here to talk about Shrove Tuesday. So join us on Shrove Tuesday, which is thank you, Tuesday, March 4th. We are going to do our Shrove Tuesday, Ash Wednesday pancake dinner. What is a shrove, you might ask? And why are we eating pancakes at a Tuesday dinner at church? And why are we recognizing Ash Wednesday on Tuesday? So the word shrove originated from shrive, which means to confess. Shrove Tuesday, which originated during the Middle Ages, is the day before Ash Wednesday, beginning of the season of Lent. Lent is a time of abstinence. Shrove Tuesday is a time to celebrate and indulge yourself before Lent. Some Christians, past and present, do not eat food such as meat, fish, fats, eggs, and milk. So to prevent the food from being wasted, families would feast and consume the food that would not last the 40 days of Lent. The English ate pancakes to use as much milk, fat, and eggs as possible. The French described the feasting as Fat Tuesday or Mardi Gras, which is derived from the word, the Latin word, Marie, Carnum Labere, does that sound right? Marie wrote this, y'all. Meaning to take away the flesh, and it's another term associated with Shrove Tuesday. Has links with the Romans and ancient European celebrations of the spring equinox. The carnivals in Eastern Europe include energetic groups of people in large masks parading and playing jokes on bystanders. Oh, maybe I'll play a joke. New Orleans and Rio de Janeiro also celebrate with elaborate costumes, masks, dancing, and feasting. Sign up today. Come for the pancakes, stay for the ashes. There's a sign up right out there. We need some supplies too, so take a look at that, and we'll see you on Shrove Tuesday. Oh, bacon! The bacon is really good. There's also vegetarian options.
All right, you want me to do this one?
Oh, yeah, purple heart. There's Tori there.
March 29th and 30th is our next Jesus Love Building weekend activity, a full weekend if you want it, or just one day if you want to. And ask Julia or Marie or Tori. And now we will do passing of the
Now I go to wide. I don't know why I don't just like do couplet from the beginning because it's so is everyone.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Off today. Morning.
How are you ready for the game? Peace.
Fill me with your power, fill me, Lord, light is making me, fill me, Lord, only with your power, will I be all that you can be. Fill me, Lord, fill me with your power, fill me, Lord, light is making me, fill me, Lord, only with your power, will I be all that you can be. Fill me, Lord, fill me with your power, fill me, Lord, light within me, fill me, Lord, only with your power, will I be all that you can be.
Please join me in reading our statement of faith. Oh, and the Church of Christ is a progressive Christian voice that welcomes diverse people for reflection and action.
Rooted in the United Church of Christ, who takes the Bible seriously, but not literally, as people who are joyfully and unapologetically Christian. We urge ourselves love. We learn to express our love as Jesus taught, by loving God, neighbor, and self. We unite personal faith with social justice, prayer with peacemaking, and spirituality with action. We passionately believe in the power of hope.
And now, children's time with Julie.
Which one? Yes.
This mic work? Hi, friends. Thanks for joining me today. Today in Kids Quest, we're going to talk about courage. Okay? And courage, do you know what courage is? Smile with me, yes. Do you know what courage is? Want to talk, Mike? No? Anyone have any thoughts? It's doing something even when you're scared to. Like you're scared of doing it. What are you scared of? Anything that you're scared of? Spiders? Lyra? Spiders. What are you scared of? Snakes. Amara, what are you scared of? Nothing? Okay. You know what I'm scared of? Everything. Henry, yes, I am scared, and so is Aaron. I am scared of everything. But sometimes you have to take the courage to do something because you know it's right, or because it's just something that you want to try doing. I'm going to do a little science experiment today. And one of the many things I am scared of is, I would say loud noises, but I'm going to be honest, I'm scared of all noises. All noises make me jump. And I saw this experiment, though, on YouTube, which you can make an unpoppable balloon. Okay? Do you like balloons? Here's what, though. I did not practice at home first. The thing about science experiments is that sometimes they don't work, but I'm going to be super courageous, okay, and we're going to go for it. So I'm going to put this mic down for a second. I'm going to step back when we do. Okay? So here's what you do. We're going to take some soap. This is just Dawn, not in yet. I'm going to pour it all over this skewer, you know, like you would, like a pointy stick. Yep. Spread it all around. Now, supposedly, I can now stick this in here. And supposedly it's not going to pop. Now, I think it is going to pop. I have not done this before. So if loud noises scare you, you might want to plug your ears, and we're gonna go for it. Okay. I'm being very free. What? It did go partway. So let's take thumbs up. We can do it more if you want to try during Kids Quest, but here's what. Thank you all for being super courageous and listening to the popped balloon. But I think next time I'm going to try it until it works. Because I want to learn how to do this. And it was scary. It was loud and it scared me. I think it's going to be scary every time, but maybe a little less every time. So just remember, like, even if you don't get something the first time, just keep being courageous and keep trying. And we'll get it done. Okay? I have more balloons, so we'll try. Great. Thanks all. At this time, we invite all that are comfortable standing to please stand, but everyone, please open up your songbooks and turn to number 16. I am scared of everything.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. 2, 3, 5, and 1. Just to make it a little more challenging.
come, mercy come, come to the water of God. Mercy for healing, all who are thirsty for touch, all who are thirsty for touch, healing from. Come to the water of God. All who are thirsty for freedom, all who are thirsty for hope, all who are thirsty for hope, for freedom, come. Come to the water of God. All who are thirsty for justice, all who are thirsty for peace, all who are thirsty for peace, for justice, come. Come to the water of God.
For our gathering moment today, we're going to continue with Black History Month. And this is Frederick Douglass. You've probably heard that name before. Today, we celebrate the brilliance of Frederick Douglass. He has been called the most influential black man in the 19th century. He experienced untold acts of brutality as a slave. An exquisite orator and writer, he is said to have mastered the master's language. He has been called a social reformer, abolitionist, writer, orator, and statesman. Douglass published in the abolitionist newspaper, supported the Underground Railroad, became the first African American to receive a vote for president. He also journeyed to Ireland and England, where he was bought out of slavery and both counseled and criticized Abraham Lincoln. Who welcomed him into the White House on 3 occasions. One particularly relevant teaching from Frederick Douglass for today is the life of the nation is secure only when the nation is honest, truthful, and virtuous.
Honest, truthful, and virtuous. Wow. Most of the time when I do a prologue, right, I'm standing up here and I'm going to be talking to you about what the rest of the service is going to be about, or what I'm talking about in the rest of the service. Not today. Not today. I'm going to be standing here, and I'm going to be sharing with you today and for the next 2 Sundays after this, all the way through Black History Month. You ever thought about that? Black History Month? Shouldn't all months be Black History Month? Some poetry that are favorites of mine that were written by Black poets. This first one, I have 2 today because they are kind of linked together, was written by Gwendolyn Brooks, who for the last part of her life was the poet laureate of Illinois and had apparently a poet laureate for the United States as a term of 2 years. And she was also that for a while. When I was a senior in college, she was at my college and she did a seminar on her poetry and on reading her poetry and being a senior speech and theater with an emphasis in poetry major at my college. I was invited to be a part of that. This, many, including me, would consider her masterpiece. It's very short. The title of this is The Pool Players, 7 at the Golden Shovel. We, real cool. We left school. We lurk late, we strike straight. We sing sin, we think gin, we jazz June. We die soon. There's a grit there that you can't find in too many other kinds of poetry. Just brief, short. Some years after that, there was a poet by the name of Terence Hayes who wrote a response to her. Not a response, it's sort of a more of an explanation or an exploration. And he wrote, and if you remember the last one was 7 players at the Golden Shovel, he wrote The Golden Shovel. Part 1, 1981. When I am so small, Da's sock covers my arm. We cruise at twilight until we find the place. The real men, lean, bloodshot, translucent with cool. His smile is a gold-plated incantation as we drift by women on bar stools with nothing left in them but approachlessness. This is a school I don't know yet. But the cue sticks mean we are rubbed by the light smooth as wood, the lurk of smoke thinned to song. We won't be out late. Standing in the middle of the street last night, we watched the moonlight lawns and a neighbor strike his sunny face. A shadow, not straight. Da promised to leave me everything. The shovel we used to bury the dog, the words he loved to sing, his rusted pistol, his squeaky Bible, his sin. The boy's sneakers were lying on the road. We watched him run to us, looking wounded and thin. He'd been caught lying or drinking his father's gin. He'd been defending his ma, trying to be a man. We stood in the road, and my father talked about jazz. Now, sometimes a tune is born of outrage. By June, the boy would be locked upstate. That night, we got down on our knees in my room. If I should die before I wake, Da said to me, it will be too soon. Part 2 is 1991. Into the tented city we go, weakened by the fire's ethereal afterglow, born lost and cooler than heartache. What we know is what we know. The left hand severed and the school by cleverness. A plate of weekdays cooking, the hour lurking in the afterglow, a late night chant, into the city we go. Close your eyes and strike a blow, light can be straightened by the shadow. What we break is what we hold. A singular blue note. An outcry, singed, exiting the throat. We push until we thin. Thinning, we won't creep back again. While God licks his kin, we sing until our blood is jazz. We swing from June to June. We sweat to keep from weeping. Groomed on a diet of hunger. We end too soon.
We invite everybody to join us in singing number 30, verses 1 and 2.
Hush, the Spirit's calling my name. Hush, hush, can you hear the same? Hush, hush, the Spirit's calling my name. Hush, hush, burning like a flame. I can feel it, the power of God. Oh, hush, hush, Spirit's calling my name. Hush, hush, Spirit's calling my name. Many the gifts that the Spirit gives, given to bless one and all. Inside of each of the Spirit lives, helping us all along. Hush, hush, Spirit's calling my name. Hush, hush, can you hear it the same? Hush, hush, Spirit's calling my name. Hush, hush, burn like a flame. I can feel it in the power of God. Oh, hush, hush, Spirit's calling my name. Hush, hush, Spirit's calling my name. Oh, I can feel it, the breath of God. Breathing your people today. Strengthen your church in the world abroad. Lead us in Jesus' way. Oh, hush, hush, Spirit's calling my name. Hush, hush, can you hear the same? Hush, hush, Spirit's calling my name. Hush, hush, burning like a flame. I can feel it, the power of God. Oh, hush, hush, Spirit's calling my name. Hush, hush, Spirit's calling my name.
It's time to take an offering. I am a blessed man. Anybody want to argue with me? Look around. Seriously, don't look at me. Look around. Look around at the people who are here.
Right.
You are blessed too. By these people. We are here probably not because we chose to be here, but we might have been invited to be here, and we might have been driven to be here, driven by But we're blessed. I'm going to guess that out there in the world, it doesn't always feel like we're blessed. That's part of the blessing too. If you feel as blessed as I do, let's give someone something back. Someone who is the one who gave us the blessing to start.
earth bearer, pain bearer, life giver, source of all that is and that shall be, Father and Mother of us all, loving God who is heaven, now in your name hallowed be your lips. Son of your justice, followed by the peoples of the world, and love be done by all created beings. The commonwealth of peace and freedom sustain our hope, and come on earth. With the bread we need for today, feed us, and the hurts we absorb from one another, forgive us. In times of temptation and testing, strengthen us. From trials too great to endure, spare us. From the grip of all that is evil, free us. For your reign and glory and power that is love, now and forever. Amen. And Lord, I ask that you just pray that for safety and protection against anyone who would want to come against the Super Bowl. There's such an opportunity for terrorists to take place, and we just pray that you would just honor and keep us safe. Amen.
This morning's scripture reading is from Luke chapter 5, verses 1 through 11. One day, Jesus was standing by Lake Gennesaret, and the crowd pressed in on him to hear the word of God. He saw 2 boats moored by the side of the lake. The fishers had disembarked and were washing their nets. Jesus stepped into one of the boats, the one belonging to Simon, and asked him to pull out a short distance from the shore. Then, remaining seated, he continued to teach the crowds from the boat. When he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, "Pull out into deep water and lower your nets for a catch." Simon answered, "Rabbi, we've been working hard all night long and have caught nothing. But if you say so, I'll lower the nets." Upon doing so, they caught such a great number of fish that their nets were at the breaking point. They signaled to their mates in the other boat to come and help them, and together they filled 2 boats until both nearly sank. After Simon saw what happened, he was filled with awe and fell down before Jesus, saying, "Leave me, Rabbi, for I am a sinner." For Simon and his shipmates were astonished at the size of the catch they had made, as were James and John, Zebedee's sons, who were Simon's partners. And Jesus said to Simon, "Don't be afraid, but from now on you'll fish among humankind." And when they brought their boats to shore, they left everything and followed him.
Where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. When you move, I'll move. I will follow. All your ways are good, all your ways are sure. I will trust in you, Lord. Higher than my sight, high above my mind. I will trust in you, Lord. In you, Lord. In you, Lord. You said I'll stay. In you, Lord, I will follow you. You love, I'll love. How you serve, I'll serve. In this life I lose, I will follow you. Yeah, I will follow you. Yeah. Light unto the world, light unto my life. I will live. Lord, in you alone. When you go, I'll go. When you stay, I'll stay. When you move, I'll move. I will follow you. When you love, I'll love. How you serve, I'll serve. If this life I lose, I will follow you. Yeah, I will follow you. Yeah. In you there's life everlasting. In you there's freedom for my soul. In you there's joy, unending joy. And I will follow. In you there's life everlasting. In you there's freedom for my soul. In you there's joy, unending joy. And I will follow you. Yeah, I will follow you. Yeah. Where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. When you move, I'll move. I will follow you. Whom you love, I'll love. How you serve, I'll serve. In this life I lose, I will follow. Where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. When you move, I'll move. I will follow you. You love, I'll love. How you serve, I'll serve. In this life I lose, I will follow you. Yeah, 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 I will follow you.
Okay, Super Bowl Sunday. Who's rooting for red? Who's rooting for green? Who doesn't care?
I hate both.
Good game. Good game. Who wants a good game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it is Super Bowl Sunday, I have a football story to tell you about me. When I was a junior, I played on a steamroller kind of football team. We were undefeated, and actually nobody even got close to us. We were just good. Not necessarily because I was good, but because the other guys were. And we had a good coach. The year before, we had played one team. There was the only team, that was my sophomore year, the only team that had beaten us, and they had beaten us because they had this quarterback who was Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and all those guys all rolled into one. I don't know how many yards he ran for, but it wasn't quite as many as he threw for. He was just a really, really good football player, and he pretty much shredded our defense. And so when we got around to that game when we were in the season the next year, when I was a junior, we were looking for vengeance. I was starting at right cornerback. That's on defense. There's guys up here. There's guy there, guy there, guy there, guy there, guy there. And I was here. And someplace in the third quarter, we had them out 28-0 or something like that. We were just beating the stuff out of them. And lo and behold, they tried to run a sweep that way, a quarterback sweep running that way. And I had a clear shot at this guy. There was nobody between me and him. There were no blockers coming. I just kind of knew that I was going to get in there. I was going to put that guy on the ground. And just as I got to him, he went doink, and he threw it right over my head to the end that I was supposed to be covering, who went about 80 yards for a touchdown. When I went back to the bench, the team was here. I was there. There was no one who would talk to me, who would look at me. Finally, one of the assistant coaches came over, put an arm around me and said, "You'll do better next time." Okay. I'm thinking, if I move over here where the rest of the team is, they're going to hurt me. Well, they kicked off to us. We marched down the field and scored another touchdown. And then we kicked off to them, and it was time for the defense to go back out onto the field. And at that point, the head coach, who was an old school rough and tumble, 3 yards in a cloud of dirt sort of coach, came up to me, grabbed me by the face mask, back when a coach could do that to a player, grabbed me by the face mask and got right here with me, and he said, "Are you going to let that happen again?" "No, sir." A couple of plays in, they ran that same play again. And at first I bit. I took one step in and I said, "No, you don't." And then I stayed with my guy, who was easily 6 inches taller than me. And the quarterback went like this, just threw the ball to that guy. Except guess who was there to just leap and tick it with a finger and knock it away? And the coach came back, when I came back in off the field for defense, the coach actually gave me a hug. He didn't do that. That was not part of what he did, but he gave me a hug. To be chosen to carry a responsibility, to be chosen to be accountable for something, even when you screw it up, is remarkable and frightening. I can't do those kinds of things on my own, ever. I have a pretty spectacular partner. She climbs all over my carcass, and that's not the word I was going to use, to make sure that I sleep enough, to make sure that I eat the right things. A donut is okay once in a while. Once in a while. She makes sure that I take my medicine when I'm supposed to. She makes sure that I get the exercise that I'm supposed to. And she also makes sure that I take downtime. She has given me this. For those of you who can't see it, it's a little wooden coin. This is a Benedictine little wooden coin. Benedictine is an order of monks. I personally am a Franciscan. I didn't know I was a Franciscan until maybe 10 years ago. But this is Benedictine. It says right here, pray and work. That is the watchwords of the Benedictine monastery. On the back side, it has in Latin different suggestions of words and things that stand for those words. Because the Pope and his minions did not like the Benedictine monks because they were being effective, did good things. And so, well, they tried to kill him 3 times. And on the backside of that coin that says you tried to kill me. You didn't. In Latin. Makes it sound much more fancy. Hold on to that thought for a second. Here's how the story went, at least according to Luke. The rock star rabbi is down by the lake, right down by the shore. And people are crowding around. Imagine a Taylor Swift concert. Taylor Swift is trying to teach stuff. And the fishermen are there, and they shove off the boats out into the water, like Genesee. And they don't catch anything, so they come back. That happens, right? I mean, any of us who have been fishing understand that's what happens. Sometimes you don't catch anything. Now, these guys, that was a more serious situation for them because they had to catch a lot of fish because they had to eat and they had to sell so that other people could eat as well. And didn't catch anything. Jesus said to them, go back out to where you were, throw your net over the other side of the boat. Excuse me? The other side of the boat? I mean, there's not like a fence there or something. Okay. Simon says, because it's you telling me, I'm going to do that. Once upon a time when I was a little kid and I was fishing in Door County, Wisconsin, I could take you to the exact place where this was. And I had not been catching anything. My brother and my father and my grandfather had all been catching fish. I had not caught anything. And this old Swedish guy came up to me and he said, that's because you're not spitting on the bait. And I went, I got to do what? You got to spit on the bait? I went, okay. Spit on the worm, throw it back out there. Count to 3, I got a fish. That's the only time in my life that this worked. I didn't catch any more fish, but I caught that one. They caught so many fish, they almost sunk 2 boats. 2 boats. Then they came back in. Dropped everything that they were doing to follow Jesus. Because they had been called. They had been called. Now, we all know that there were 12 disciples, right? Actually, 13 if you count the fact that Judas killed himself, and then there was another one named. By the way, I will never believe that Judas killed himself. I will never believe that. I will meet Judas in some other world sometime, and he will say, yeah, I did that. And I said, no, you didn't. I just don't. I think Judas has gotten a bad shake all the way through. But anyway, after Judas did kill himself, they did eating, meaty, money, mo, and came up with Matthias. But do you think those were the only disciples Jesus had? Were those the only ones? Why were they just men? We don't name any women. You find me a Barbara in there. You know, there just isn't one. That's because it was the men that were writing the stories, right? There were a lot of people that were involved. You know, that Last Supper where it's the 12 guys, everybody that wants to be in the picture get on that side of the table. Yeah, there were women too. There always were women because that's who Jesus was. Jesus, diversity, equity, inclusion, yeah, that was Jesus, very much so. Very much so. By the way, I have a request of all of you. Whenever you're talking to somebody about that, don't use DEI. Don't do that. Use diversity, equity, and inclusion, and then say, which one don't you like? I mean, hold their feet to the fire. Jesus was calling them to a responsibility. Up until this point, he'd been on his own. He'd become the rock star all by himself. James Taylor with a guitar on stage, and he was the rock star. But then he needed a band. He needed to get the bass player and the drum and the fiddle and the piano on there. I mean, he needed all of those things. I'm sorry I called it a fiddle. He needed all of those people because he wasn't going to be able to do it all. Maybe he could have, but maybe he didn't. To do what he did drained him. Would any of us? And he was one of us. I don't care what some people say, he was not necessarily all powerful here. He was one of us, because if he was all powerful here, then it makes the whole thing pretty much a joke, right? Something somehow trivial. He had to be one of us. He had to hurt. He had to be human. And that's when he did the other part of the praying work. He was doing the work. He was healing people. He was fixing people. He was teaching people. He was being surrounded by people. But he also needed to go and pray. Because where's he going to recharge? Me? She makes me find a book. She makes me sit in a library. She makes me do things that maybe I'm not used to doing all the time. It says, you need to get refocused. You need to get recharged. You need some time by you. That's good. I can do that. We do that with our partners. If we do with our partners what we should be doing with our partners, say, take a rest, take a break, sit down. Here's something cool to drink. Here's a donut. And who's going to say that to Jesus? Who's going to provide the recharging for Jesus? He goes to the one place where he can be recharged. In connection, in communication, in prayer with the one who put him there to start with. You have been called to do extraordinary things. Extraordinary things. We are in a time that needs extraordinary things done. And you have been called to do those. Now, how are you going to be that disciple? Well, first of all, you're going to learn. That's what a disciple does. A disciple sits at the feet of the master and learns. Don't sit at my feet. I'm not that one. Find something, find someone who will teach you the things that you know you need to know. It might be a book. It might be a Bible, although the Bible takes a lot of work. It might be something that I might say. It might be something that happens in the Sunday school class. It might be something that you read. It might be something that you listen to. It might be music. For me, a lot of it is music. And then you need to stop being a disciple and go out and be an apostle. What is an apostle? An apostle is one who is sent. The disciple comes and learns. And then they become apostles and one who is sent. You can't just be a disciple. I'm going to hold all this stuff together right here. This is all going to be mine. Mine. No, you have to be able to share it. You have to be able to teach it, give it to other folks. That's what you were called to do. You got to guard that split end and make sure that pass is not caught again. And if I can grab you by the helmet, which is not allowed, I would get into your face. You're going to let that happen again? Are you ready for this? Can you do this? And I'm going to say, yes, you are. Yes, you are. To teach, to preach, to be followers of Jesus Christ, even in the face of something not of Jesus Christ. And then you're going to become fishers of the whole world. Pray with me. Make us brave, Lord. Make us brave enough to say the things that we need to say. Make us brave enough to go to places we don't want to go. Make us brave enough to follow you. And then send us out.
We invite everybody who's feeling comfortable enough to stand. Please do so. And everyone, please join us singing our closing song, number 206, Only, verse 1.
We will not fear, we will not fear. All nations stumble and governments decree. We will not fear, we will not fear. God is our shelter and strength. God is our comfort in trouble. God is our shelter and strength. God is our help in trouble.
There are things that you remember. Okay, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because our God is tough. Go. Be people of God.